And the opening race on the card is the 4:15, a handicap over 1.5 miles. Spring Glow, dropping in grey, was sent off the 3-1 market leader for this one. Commentary comes from Mark Johnson.
And they're off. 1.5 miles ahead of them in the Unibet Horse Race Betting Operator of the Year handicap, and through the very early stages towards the inside, Mille Miglia is showing early speed. So too is Ward Castle, and between those two is Largo Bay, who now tries to drop in towards the inside rail. NYRA is the one who is at the back of the field together with L Wing as they come up past the stands with a circuit to go. Mille Miglia has the lead with Blue Nose Bell pushing up around the outside 3 deep into the first turn. Ward Castle is racing in third. Largo Bay up against the fence is in fourth. Secret Potion couldn't get in and is 4 deep around the turn with Saint Colette for company. So too Franco Grasso, who's now just drifted in behind Spring Glow in midfield. Next is around the outside Sunday in May, and the last two are NYRA in company with the filly L Wing as they head down the back straight. As they do so, all change. It is now Blue Nose Bell who has the lead, but only by a head. So on the outside, Secret Potion, who races in second. Nearly 2 lengths away, Ward Castle is in third. The early leader, Mille Miglia, is now in fourth. Saint Colette is another 1.5 lengths away, racing in fifth. Largo Bay has now been shuffled back to sixth, followed by the grey Spring Glow, who is in seventh. In eighth, towards the inside, is Franco Grasso. On their outside is Sunday in May, and still the last two are NYRA, who's out wider to L Wing, and they've gone through halfway, and they're heading now towards the final 5 furlongs of the turn out of the back straight. Blue Nose Bell and Shane Kelly still hold the lead. To Secret Potion, Gina Mangan in second. Towards the inside rail, Mille Miglia, John Fahey now in third. Ward Castle, Stefano Ciacci is in fourth position. A break then of 1.5 lengths away to Largo Bay, up against the fence. Driven along is Saint Colette, and around the outside Sunday in May is passing rivals, and so too is NYRA, who's also 3 deep but beginning to show interest. Towards the inside is Franco Grasso. Spring Glow has been shuffled back, only has one behind, and that is L Wing. They've made the turn and they've got 2.5 furlongs to go. Blue Nose Bell is ridden to try and hold the advantage to Secret Potion on the outside. Largo Bay has travelled well towards the inner. Just in behind them is Mille Miglia, who now tries to split rivals. Over on the far side, Franco Grasso is trying to stay on, and they're racing well inside the final furlong. Mille Miglia in the centre now just has the lead. Secret Potion, however, is trying to come back for more. 100 yards to go, and it is Mille Miglia in front. Mille Miglia wins. In second, Secret Potion. In third, Largo Bay, and in fourth was Franco Grasso.
Mille Miglia wins nicely, 130 for John Fahey and Clive Cox. Second was Secret Potion, 25-1, and third, Largo Bay at 11-2. A nice performance this from Mille Miglia, who's bounced back to form in no uncertain terms in her last couple of outings, finishing third over this track on her last starts, and then winning, going 2 places better this afternoon. I think the extra furlong has certainly helped her finishing effort in the closing stages here, and she's stayed on really stoutly to see off Secret Potion, who has bounced back to form as well.
Really nice performance from a filly that deserved that.
Yeah, she did. Listen, her getting beat probably the last twice is probably more down to me. Weren't most clever of rights, but I got it right tonight. The step up a trip has helped too. Got into a nice rhythm and was always in control.
Always a good position as well, just in behind a good position that when you actually wanted to press the button, that she was in a good one to strike.
Yeah, very much like I just said, I was always in control. You know, even when Shane crossed me on the eventual front runner, I was still doing everything in my terms. And yeah, it's good.
Very good. What have you got looking forward to over the next few days? The rest of the card, maybe?
No, finished now for the night, and probably a couple of bits and pieces towards the end of the week. But yeah, keep the head down and keep grafting.
Well done, John.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.
The 4:45. Next up, the try our new price boost at Unibet Nursery over 6 furlongs. Clips from La Habana was sent off 5-4 favourites to get off the mark.
And they're off. A nursery over 6 furlongs, and slow to begin was Cheeky Maxi from the outside. Also Italian Lover a little bit slow to get going. They race towards the end of the back straight, and it's Clipsham La Habana against the inside rail who takes the lead. Pending Appeal is racing in second with Bay of Hope around the outside, and Bay of Hope now has moved through to take second place as they make the run now on towards the final half mile. And as they do so, it is Clipsham La Habana against the inside rail. Pending Appeal is racing in second. Around the outside, Bay of Hope is in third. Corinthian Kid is in fourth. In fifth is Bendicta as they make the turn in. Teffy is racing in sixth position. Towards the inside is Kim and Kate, who is racing in seventh. Racing at the moment just alongside Cheeky Maxi. Still out the back of the field is Lady Miller as they race on now inside the final quarter of a mile. Another one struggling at the back of the field is Italian Leather, but it is Clipsham La Habana who split this field wide open with over a furlong to go. The lead is now 5 lengths over Corinthian Kid, who is in second. Pending Appeal is in third, but they're strung out like Monday morning washing behind Clipsham La Habana. Clipsham La Habana wins for Danny Muscat. In second was Corinthian Kid, and in third, Pending Appeal.
And Clipsham La Habana wins pretty impressively, 5-4. Favourite for Danny Muscat and Kevin Philippot of Foy. Second was Corinthian Kid, 6-1. And third was Pending Appeal, 25-1. No problems from the front, and a fine timed ride from Danny Muscat here, but it was always fairly straightforward, to be honest, because Clipsham La Habana has been led in lightly by the look of it from the handicap off an opening mark of 70, always in the box seat at the head of a... There's third, second and second in 3 starts so far, but on handicap debut, he bosses this field in really quite impressive fashion.
Really nice performance in the end from a horse who, well, he's proven he's just a little bit better than this grade.
Yeah, he's been consistent. Tonight's the first time I felt him really tune in mentally. He did everything right pre-race, whereas he did a few things wrong in his earlier stages, but he's only young. He's obviously only a young horse, so it's taken a while for the penny to drop properly. But very professional today, and yeah, happy how he was very straightforward, and they've brought him along with each run, and he's starting to really hit the straps now.
And you kept it very simple. It's been a progression with each run, held up initially, a bit more prominent last time, and then leading today.
Yeah, I think I rode him wrong last time. I gave him a squeeze out and then took a lead. I probably should have let him roll on and use himself last time. Today, when I thought the Portland horse would probably take us long, that didn't jump as quick as us, so I was quite happy to dictate, and he found nice at the straight.
Well done, Danny.
Thank you. Cheers.
The 5:15 is Division 1 of the Racing TV handicap. This is over a mile. Free Step, really well backed before the off, 5-1, into 11-4 for Chris Wall.
And they're off. A step slow away was Gonzaga. Also slow to begin was Ticana, and another one who blew the start was towards the rear of the field early, Dashing to You. The early leader here is Hasif. Hasif has gone on, leads by half a length, but it is Sunset Salute who will press the pace, racing in second. Then towards the inside is Bearing Bob. Bearing Bob has now dropped back to fourth as Dorado makes ground towards the outside. Then Inclement Weather is next in the field, followed by Gonzaga, who's made up for that step slow start. At the moment, the red cap of Free Step is showing in the last third of the field, in fact with only 2 behind as they go into that far turn, and it is Hasif and Dara Keenan who have got the lead. So it's Hasif who is out in front now by around about a length and a half to Sunset Salute, who is racing in second position. Towards the inside, Bearing Bob is just in third. Out wide, Dorado is racing in fourth. Gonzaga is in fifth. Inclement Weather is in sixth. Centralon making the turn, racing in seventh position. Sweet Bertie drifting back is now in eighth. Flagman around the outside is racing in ninth. Evasive Power has made the turn in 10th position. Ticana is now racing in 11th as they come up the home straight. Still Free Step with quite a bit to do from there, but now trying to make ground as they race inside the final quarter of a mile. And it is Hasif who has got the lead. Giving chase now is Bearing Bob in second position. In third place now is Inclement Weather as they race inside the final furlong, and Bearing Bob has now taken the lead. Bearing Bob has gone on. Inclement Weather continues to stay on in second. Hasif is in third. These are a long way clear. They've got 150 yards to go. Bearing Bob is out in front, and it is Bearing Bob. Bearing Bob wins for Clifford Lee. In second, Inclement Weather. In third was a long-time leader. That was Hasif.
Bearing Bob wins 8-1 for Clifford Lee and Tony Carroll. Second was Inclement Weather, 15-2. Third was Hasif at 4-1. In the end, the front two have drawn clear in the closing stages of this contest as the runners make their way through some pretty thick fog, which is only getting worse race by race. But Bearing Bob emerges from the gloom and does it pretty well on first start for Tony Carroll. Hadn't really been in much form before this, but certainly the switch to a new yard seems to have made all the difference, and he's done pretty well to battle on and see off a renewed effort from inclement weather, who couldn't quite get there.
Clifford Lee has steered Bearing Bob back to a return win, 194 days off, but he's hit the line quite strongly by the looks of it.
He did, he travelled very well. Sort of coming to the two-pole, I thought I was in for a really big shout. He was very fit, he had a good blow afterwards, but it didn't stop him in the race.
It looked like it all went fairly straightforwardly throughout the race. You got a good position and you were in the perfect position to strike. Seems like positioning can be quite key in these races, especially at this time of the year.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was drawn free. It was perfect. I was able just to sit right behind the leader. And the leader went a nice even gallop and it quickened up nicely so the gap's opened. There is a cutaway anyway. I could have switched, but no, everything went right and he's done it nicely.
New stable. 194 days off. What were your expectations coming into today?
We thought he might have needed it, but Tony was very confident in him today. He said to me that he should be running a big race, but because they come to the races, he might just get a bit tired.
Well done, Clifford.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
The 550 is Division 2 of the Racing TV Handicap. Over a mile, Eagle-Eyed Freddie was sent off 9-4, favourites in another pretty competitive heat.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Requer May, as is his wont, broke slowly. Adace was also slowly into stride. They go through the early stages, and it is Eagle-Eyed Freddie who has the lead he craves. Being pushed up towards the inside is Lordsbridge Girl, who is also going forward in the early stages, and also Nicholas Andre is another one who is right up there through the very early stages of the contest. It is Eagle-Eyed Freddie who now is taken on by, on the outside, Nicholas Andre, and these are the first two. Lady Packs a Punch is racing in a share of third, with towards that one's outside Opticality. They're then being followed towards the inner as they go into the turn by Lordsbridge Girl. Those are the first five. In six is Sunset in Paris, who's 3 deep as they go around the turn. Next in the field as they go around the final half-mile marker is Island of Skye, and now they're racing on towards the final 3 furlongs. And it's Eagle-Eyed Freddie and Jason Watson who've still got the lead over Nicholas Andre, who races in second position. Lady Packs a Punch made the turn just in third as they now race up the home straight, and they've got 2.5 furlongs to go, and Eagle-Eyed Freddie still has the lead. Now giving chase down the outside, Opticality has moved into a share of second with Lordsbridge Girl towards the inside, DX Delight, and then Adace. Requer May from a long way back, and then Hopeman Harbour is trying to pick up late as well inside the final furlong, and it's Eagle-Eyed Freddie who has still got the lead over Lordsbridge Girl on the inside. Requer May, here's Adace down the wide outside, Eagle-Eyed Freddie holding on to the lead on the outside. Adace as they hit the line tight, Adace near side, Eagle-Eyed Freddie was right there, so too was Lordsbridge Girl, and just in behind them Requer May in a bunch finish.
Adace wins nicely, 12-1 for Kieran Fallon and Dean Ivory. Second was Lordsbridge Girl, 6-1. Third was Eagle-Eyed Freddie at 9-4 favourites. A really tight finish to this contest, went right down to the wire, but Adace had too much pace and too much of a turn of speed for Eagle-Eyed Freddie, who, to his credit, boxed on relentlessly once he was headed by Adace, but he just couldn't quite match that finishing kick of the filly. Nice to see her back in the winner's enclosure.
Delighted winning trainer Dean Ivory joins me. Dean, you must be delighted with that.
I'm really delighted. Pleased for obviously the owner. Kieran rode a brilliant race for us, but most of all the filly. I mean, she's had 3 bad draws. She'd have come right round the outside, do all the hard work, and if she'd have lost tonight, it'd been very hard luck for her. But she just got head in front nicely, and she's game, isn't she? Very, very game, genuine. And no, absolutely delighted for everybody, really am.
She ran an eye catcher last time as well. Were you confident coming into this, stepping back up to this kind of trip?
Yes, I was, because she's a filly you can't rush, you've got to take her time. But I know they've been doing a lot of work here to the track, and talking to the groundsman this morning, they have obviously power-howered it, which will make it a little bit slower. So what Kieran and I didn't want to do, we didn't want to rush her again, take her time to ride her to get the mile. And obviously we learnt a lot more, so we'll be back over a mile rather than a 7 next time.
What kind of team do you have going forward for the all-weather season? We're a few weeks in now. What's the team looking like?
Well, we haven't got as many horses now as what we used to have, which is a shame, but you know, you keep these horses a little bit too long because they run well and they're genuine, so we're a little bit light with horses, but we've probably got, I don't know, something like about 6, 7 to run on the all-weather, but we've got quite a nice bunch of 3-year-olds there and a few 2-year-olds we've just broken, so we're just going to take our time at home and get these horses right, and a lot of mine want soft ground, so we'll just hang on probably till the spring and see how we go.
You've got a couple of chances later on the card, one of them being Fighting Temeraire, the old boy. How is he?
Yeah, Fighting Temeraire, obviously he's getting on a little bit now, probably a little bit too high in the weights. Very competitive race tomorrow. Yeah, I'm obviously hopeful for him, but of course I've got Yamu, I think should run a big race tomorrow. And I bought a very nice horse for my father called Lost in Time by Jabawi. He's a very nice horse, but they lack a lot of confidence. So when you get these new horses, you've got to give them confidence, work with them, and you know, with confidence you can do anything, and that's what I've got installed in these horses.
Just quickly, Lost in Time, he was going the right way, and he's had some setbacks, hasn't he, over his career, and you've only had him a short while.
I haven't had him that long, but I gave him 3 easy months. He had a lot of work we had to do to his feet. He's been on the go a long time. He's a horse that's a little bit restless, always a bit restless. He's not now, thankfully. We've got some playpens we turn him out in, and he's got a few mates, so we've had to wind him right back. And he just seems to be enjoying life at the moment. I'm never hard with the horses, but I guess really going into the all-weather, he's one that I'm very hopeful that will progress and hopefully give us all a lot of fun.
Well, fingers crossed I'm speaking to you tomorrow at Chelmsford. Well done, Dean.
Let's hope so. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
The 620 is Division 1 of a novice stakes over a mile, and newcomer Slip of the Pen was really well supported throughout the day and was sent off 6-5 on for John and Thady Gosden.
And they're off. Slip of the Pen was not that fast away, and neither too was Roman Art. Also, Body Groove was just a step slow away. Yasmina, the filly, is showing early speed, but taken on by Ray of Colours. Ray of Colours now has the lead by a neck. To the outside, Yasmina raced in second. Eye Trap is pushing up now into third. Towards the inside, it's Monoglow, who's now in fourth position. Adwan is racing in fifth. A break of a length and a half back to Smart Charger, who is racing in sixth. A Double Down is racing in seventh position as they go now towards the end of the back stretch. Then TC, who's racing towards the outside of Slip of the Pen. Towards the rear of the field is Cantalupo Bella as they go into that far turn, in already quite a well strung out field as they make that turn and going now inside the final half mile. We'll pick them up very shortly on the Scouts as they make the run into the home straight, and they are at the moment covered by around about 15 lengths. The entire field appeared to go pretty hard in the early stages, with Yasmina still holding the lead. Towards the inside, Ray of Colours is racing in second place. Eye Track with the white bridle made the turn in third. Adwan not too far behind them in a share of fourth, with Monoglow towards that one's inside. Then towards the inner is Slip of the Pen, who will go towards the cutaway right up against that far side rail and is travelling really well into the contest. It's Yasmina on the outside, Eye Trap, but yet to move a muscle, James Doyle on Slip of the Pen inside the final furlong, and now he says go, and it's Slip of the Pen who has travelled like a dream throughout, now pulling clear. You didn't need to avoid the fog to see that this is impressive. Slip of the Pen, much the best. Yasmina was second, and in third on the outside, Eye Trap.
Slip of the Pen wins, 6-5 on favourites James Doyle and John and Thady Gosden. A really nice performance for His Majesty the King. Second was Yasmina, 10-1. Third was Eye Trap at 16-1. Well, he's already 20-1 for the Derby after this, is Slip of the Pen, and you can almost understand why, because it couldn't really have been a more impressive debut. He's travelled through the race extremely sweetly for a newcomer, and as soon as he's been in the remotest way let down by James Doyle, he's put many lengths between himself and the rest. A very exciting prospect in those famous royal colours.
James Doyle has just been aboard a really impressive winning debutant in Slip of the Pen. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was pretty smooth from sort of inside the three. Before that, not quite so smooth. You know, he just sort of, he was last in the gates, and sometimes on the first timers it doesn't give him an opportunity to settle down, and that was exactly it really. He kind of got in, just rocked a touch, no problems there, just a little bit of greenness. So when the gates popped, he just kind of jumped up in the air rather than forward. So we forfeited a bit of ground, and thankfully he's a pretty smart horse, because he travelled super through the race. he put himself from probably 6 lengths off the lead to in a disputing kind of position within a matter of strides. So he's got a pretty good turn of foot, and not easy conditions for them out there today. It's pretty foggy out there and there's not a lot to be seen, and you've got car lights on the inside and stuff, so there's plenty to look at, but he quick and super, so quite a smart horse, hopefully.
Plenty to learn and take from it as well. The talent's very much there. Just when he hit the front, it just looked he looked like a debutant.
Yeah, exactly that, and I'm sure there'll be no worries there. He'll learn on the job as he goes along, and hopefully he's in for a bright future. But like I say, it's quite sort of difficult conditions for them tonight. As we know, in the fog, when the bright lights are shining, it's never ideal. So especially when you've got nothing to sort of take you from the furlong pole to the line. So very pleased with that.
Well done.
Thank you.
The 650 is Division 2 of a mile novice, and Prince of Zenda was sent off, the marginal favourites here at 5-2.
And they're off. One or two of them walked out of the stalls. Fair Dinkum very slow to begin. Fly Zone also blew the start. Another one that was pretty slowly away was Land Legend, not showing any early speed at all, is Sierra Vista in what's already a well-strung outfield. Florida has claimed the early lead as they go down the back stretch, with Prince of Zenda right up there racing in second, Overland, and then towards the inside is Strand on the Green, and those are the first four. Racing into fifth position is Postman's Park as they go into that far turn. Scintillante is racing in sixth position, but it is now Prince of Zenda who opens up a lead of a length and a half over Florida. Racing in second, Overland is in third. Strand on the Green is in fourth position. Postman's Park is in fifth place, and at the moment racing around about 4 lengths off the leader, who continues to be Prince of Zenda. Scintillante is racing in sixth place, making ground around the outside. Days of Our Lives now into seventh. Fitzroy River made the turn in eighth. Book of Tales made the turn in ninth. Land Legend is next, then Fly Zone. After Fly Zone, a racer Sierra Vista. Now at the back of the field is Fair Dinkum, racing down inside the final quarter of a mile, and Prince of Zenda has the lead. Florida's got about 3 lengths to find in second place. Down the wide outside, Days of Our Lives continues to stay on. It's about to take third. They're well inside the final furlong, and it's Prince of Zenda who has got the lead, but the one who is making inroads into that lead is Days of Our Lives as they race up towards the line. Days of Our Lives is up in time. Days of Our Lives wins. Prince of Zenda in second. It was close to a third. Between horses was Scintillante, and towards the near side, Postman's Park, far side, Florida.
Days of Our Lives too strong, 7-1 for Jack Mitchell and Marco Botti. Second was Prince of Zenda, 5-2 favourite, and third was Scintillante at 9-2. For all the world, it looked as though the favourite Prince of Zenda was going to get the job done here. Went quite a long way clear inside the final furlong, but your eye was drawn to the green and red powering down the outside of Days of Our Lives, and this new headgear combination has really perked him up by the look of it. A hood and cheek pieces combining for a pretty emphatic victory in the end.
Jack, well done. First time you've been on the horse. What were your impressions?
He actually brought some nice form into the race. Obviously a few haven't ran, and there's a bit of a question mark by their names, but look, he went a nice even gallop there, and he was just in the stalls for a long time, so he missed it half a beat, but he managed to get him in amongst them and get him to travel. You should probably see he's got his quirks, he's got a hood and cheek pieces on, but once I gave him a smack to go and finish the job, he lengthened that well.
And he's had headgear on for all 3 of his starts from his debut to now as well. Do you see it being those quirks eventually eroding away in time, or do you think that's just him?
I think so. I mean, there's going to be a point where he's going to have nothing on his head. He's just obviously been, I don't know the full story, but he's obviously been hard to, or difficult to train. And look, he's improved with every run, he's grown up with every run, and now he's got his head in front, he's got a bit of confidence.
When did you think that you were going to get there? Because it looked like the leader had put a fair sight out in front.
I thought I was going to get there, but it was a case of, I went past James's horse, and he kind of thought, oh, my job's done now. But there was still the Hugo's horse in front, so we had to go chasing after that. But like I said, once he got into top gear, he hit the line well.
I know it's cold, just one more question. The news came out this week about Chris Wall hanging up his training boots, so to speak, and it's somebody that you know quite well.
Yeah, it's obviously very sad news. It was my first job in Newmarket, and served my whole apprenticeship there, and he's
He's a very clever man, very honest, very kind man. He was very good to me throughout the years. I mean, I think it's 14 years or something I've been riding for him now, and you know, he gave me my first group winner, and obviously we've had a good year with double a bubble this year. So no, I wish him all the best. I've already spoken to him, but yeah, look, it's the end of an era, I think.
Very much so. Well done here.
Thank you.
The 720 is the Unibet Support Safe Gambling handicap over a mile. Aguaplano was sent off 3-1 favourite to win once again.
Off and running then for the Unibet Support Safe Gambling handicap. They're racing over 1 mile, and they will be just about out of our view completely through the first 2.5 to 3 furlongs before we hopefully will pick them up on the Scout, which is at the end of the back straight. Now, plenty of pace was signed on in this race, so it would appear they're going to go pretty hard in the early stages, and we wait now to pick them up with Alazwa towards the inside rail, just stalking Piece of History, and towards the outside is Plastic Paddy and Piece of History, the first two. Alazwa is racing in third as they go into the turn. Dashing Dick is in fourth, and then towards the inside is Aguaplano, who is in fifth position as they spin that turn. In sixth place after Aguaplano races Aussie Banker, and then around the outside you Zinkso with Demby. After Demby, just pushing up now, Lafan making a place or two. La Marquina is towards the rear of the field, so too is Pistoletto, and the back marker as they make the turn in is Artisan. They're making the run now down towards the final 2.5 furlongs. It looks as though Piece of History towards the inside has got the lead. Piece of History now to Plastic Paddy, and down the outside that is Dashing Dick. Towards the inside of Lazwa, the green colours now of Aguaplano appearing with every chance. Up against the far side rail, that is La Marquina. Down the wide outside, Aussie Banker appears to have every chance. Aguaplano now taken on by Aussie Banker towards the near side, and it's Aussie Banker and Aguaplano. These two head bobber paths, they race up towards the line. On the outside, it's Aussie Banker. Aussie Banker wins, Aguaplano in second. Tight call for third. Demby staying on from a long way back, and towards the outside was Dashing Dick.
Aussie Banker wins well, 4-1 for William Buick and Richard Hughes. Owner Peter Cook. Second was Aguaplano, 3-1 favourite, and third was Dembe, 66-1. Good to see Aussie Banker with another win under his belt. Fourth at this track last time when staying on late, and this time everything went right for him with William Buick in the saddle. A really nice performance to see off Aguaplano, who fought on very gallantly on the far side, but just found Aussie Banker's finishing kick that little bit too much. A good run too from Dembe, bouncing right back to near his best in third. He'll surely be winning again soon as well.
Peter, very well done. You must be delighted with that. He's got off the mark on the all-weather, and he's won for the second time in a fairly short space of time.
Yeah, he's done very well on that one. He was here, as you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a very fast finishing fourth on that day because he got boxed in. But today, much wider on the track, and yeah, he obviously comes down that track very well. And it was a very pleasing performance.
He does. He came with a really good late rattle. When you can't see much of a race as a winning owner, what kind of emotions do you feel when suddenly out of the gloom yours appears?
Well, that is really something good to see him sort of in the lead or coming up to the lead right at the end. I've had to ask him how the race went because we literally saw nothing other than the last 50 or 60 yards. I don't know whether you could have seen more on the television upstairs, but I like to be outside watching where the action is. And yeah, it's really surprising to sort of literally see him coming, but he was a fast finishing fourth, as I say, last time here, so it's no surprise that he came down the outside really nicely. Really enjoyed it. It was very good.
Well, you'll be happy to know you can see some of it up the home straight, so you can enjoy some of that a little bit later. We see your name in the race card plenty. I don't know much about you. Just tell me about your beginnings in racing and how you came into league with Richard.
Right, my beginnings in, that's Richard now from Portugal, all day. My first horse was in 1979 with Patrick Haslam down in Newmarket, and then I left it for a few years. I came back to Richard when I was a member of a Goodwood racing syndicate, and we had a horse which Richard trained, and Finley, when he was an apprentice, he won 5 times on that horse, and that was the start of it. You go down there, you meet the man, you like the man. So when it came time to get back into it, Richard was the obvious choice to go to, and I'm very happy to be with him. He's a great chap, he's a good stables, the people down there are all good, it really is a good experience.
And it's not just the race day experience, is it? It's the actually going to the yard, seeing your pride and joys, working on the gallops. It's the whole package.
Yeah. Yes, all that is really good. He makes you very welcome when you get down there. He takes you up on all the gallops, whether you're watching your horse or somebody else's horse, or he points out this one, that one, that one, and that one. But yeah, it's good. It's a great experience all the way round.
I think they're calling for you in the presentation, so thanks very much for having a word, and well done.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
The 750 is the feature race. The Unibet Wildflower Stakes, a listed contest over a mile and a half. Wild Crusade sent off the 2-1 favourites here to get the job done.
They're in the gate. And they're off. And just before the button was pressed, Wild Crusade got very restless in the starting gate and therefore surrendered a couple of lengths at the start of the Unibet Wildflower Stakes. This listed race over a mile and a half, and on the inside, Dillian has claimed the early lead with Jack Darcy pushing up towards the outside. Berkshire Rocco on their heels, and then a little bit wider is Garden Paradise. Having blown the start, Wild Crusade now makes a move round the wide outside of runners. The one who's not involved in the early skirmishing is the filly, that is Purple Ribbon, who's dropped out the back of the field early as they spin the turn, and Wild Crusade has been forced to race 4 wide as they go around that turn, and it is Dillian who leads them now towards the back stretch, out in front by 3 parts of a length to Jack Darcy, who races in second position. Siskany up against the inside rail is in third. Wild Crusade to the outside in fourth, and Garden Paradise is in fifth. 2 lengths away, Berkshire Rocco is racing in sixth. 7th position for Goemon. After Goemon, another break of 2.5 lengths to Bellocchio, and the back marker is Purple Ribbon. They're heading down the back straight and going now on towards the halfway point in the 16th running of the Wild Flower, and towards the outside it is now Jack Darcy who has picked up the gauntlet and goes on to Dillian towards the inside rail, who races in second. Wild Crusade to the outside of Siskany in third and fourth. A break of 1.5 lengths to Garden Paradise as they swing the turn. Garden Paradise is in fifth. Berkshire Rocco is in sixth. Goemon chased on running in snatches is in 7th position still. Purple Ribbon is the back marker as they go into the turn. Last but one is Bellocchio, and now they've got just 3.5 furlongs to go in the Unibet Wildflower, and as they make the turn, Jack Darcy's lead is 2 lengths to Dillian, who races in second. Siskany against the inside rail is in third. Wild Crusade made the turn in fourth. Bellocchio the grey creeps into contention now on the outside of Berkshire Rocco. Also staying on is Purple Ribbon, sticking towards the inside. An all-out drive for Garden Paradise. He's now Wild Crusade right out the back of the field. 1.5 furlongs to go, and here comes Bellocchio. Bellocchio sticks his grey head in front between horses. Siskany towards the inside. That is Purple Ribbon. A 3-way go and 1/2 furlong to go in the Wildflower Stakes. Bellocchio on the near side. Over on the far side, Purple Ribbon. Bellocchio, I think, may have got there, but it's very tight. Bellocchio near side. On the far side, that was Purple Ribbon, and Siskany between those two.
Bellocchio wins again, 9-2 for Jamie Spencer and David Monoussier, combining to land the feature race on the card. Second was Purple Ribbon, 18-1. Third was Siskany, 5-2. You couldn't really have asked for a more close finish to the feature race on the night. A neck and a nose separating the front 3 here, and Bellocchio, who was a winner of the Middle Distance Series final last time out, has gone and won a listed contest. He's been such a faithful and brilliant server for connections down the years, and he's really found his métier on his last couple of outings, staying on very strongly under the Jamie Spencer drive in the closing stage, just nose ahead and see off both Siskany and Purple Ribbon, who both ran very, very gallantly in defeat.
What a happy occasion.
It was excellent in so much as we've been very patient, guided by this genius here, and you know we've had to bite our lips, and he come good a month ago in that handicap where he carried top weight, and this is just the icing on the cake, so we're really looking forward to next season.
David, this is a horse you've had a lot of faith in for a long time, even way back as a 2-year-old. I mean, he was a non-runner in a Group 1 as a 2-year-old for his perceived second start, but he's just taken a bit of time to really come into himself, not dissimilar to plenty of yours.
Yes and no. I mean, I think he was very talented as a 2-year-old. You know, he really understood very quickly what the game was all about. And we threw him in the deep end at 3, you know, thinking that he was up to the task. And I think he was, but I don't think he had the brains to really cope with the top opposition, and therefore lost his form. And when they lose their form, it's very hard to get them back. And yeah, look, it's amazing, but there's a bit of I don't want to get too emotional, but there's a bit of Thundering Blue in him, you know. A lot of Thundering Blue, actually, to be fair. And yeah, look, I couldn't be more proud of him.
Well, Thundering Blue, owned by Clive Washbourne, who we're used to seeing going crazy in winners' enclosures. Ivan, you were slightly more reserved, but I mean, it's just great to... It's slightly more reserved, David, yeah, but just it's great to have progression all the way through the season. You've had 2 big pots and now a listed race on top of it.
I mean, it's been the perfect scenario that as an owner and part of a syndicate, you just dream about. And when it actually happens, you almost can't believe it. And but the horse is, you know, I think as he's got older, he's going to do, you know, better things. I think, as David said, his brain's getting into gear now as well as his body. So here's the next season.
Any reason why the love affair with Kempton, it won't just be a one-track love affair, that he can produce it at other places?
I just don't know, really, because we found over the months and what have you that he's a right-handed horse, and he absolutely loves it around here. And if he was to manage to get his confidence to go left-handed as well as he goes right-handed, then I think he will be able to reproduce that elsewhere. At the moment, that's the main issue we're going to have in the future, is that he's right-handed, and obviously he loves the polytrack, which doesn't really leave you many options. So let's hope that he can raise his game in the future by going left-handed as well as he goes right-handed.
Well, as Barney Clifford, clerk of the course, told you afterwards, there's always the September Stakes Group 3 next year as well.
To be fair, he does the program for me now, you know. Every time we come here and we win, he said, come back for this, come back for that, so it's quite easy.
Gentlemen, very well done. Go get a drink.
Thank you, cheers, thank you.
Final race on the card is the 820 Unibet 3 Uniboost a day handicap over 2 miles. Pons Alias was sent off a very short price for this one, 11 to 10.
They're off and running then for the Unibet 3 Uniboost Today handicap. It's run over 2 miles, and the first time we'll get them is on the Scout at the end of the back straight, at the end of the first furlong and a half. Into the turn they go, and it's Shadow Facts, his ghostly figure out in front as they take the turn. All right, up there as well is Pons Alias. And Pons Alias now has come through to take the lead. So Shadowfax definitely led them for the first furlong and a half, but Pons Alias and Danny Muscat now have gone to the lead. The one who's dropped out the back of the field early is Core Blimey, who is last. Sashenka is last but 1, and Duty of Care is last but 2 as they make the turn into the home straight for the first time. So Pons Alias took up the running at the end of the first furlong and a half, and now runs the rail and just has a slender lead as they make the run up the home straight for the first time. We'll pick them up from the stands with only about a furlong and a half or so to come up before they pass the stands with a circuit ahead of them. So it is a change to the lead once again. It's now Humanitarian who has taken up the running. So Humanitarian has gone on. Pons Alias now racing in second. Motazen is in third. The first of the greys is Shadowfax in fourth. Wilderness is racing in fifth. The second of the greys, Arabiscato on the outside, is in sixth. The inside Soldier in Action is in seventh. Duty of Care is racing in eighth. The mare Sashenka is in ninth. The one who's not travelled at all early is Core Blimey, who's been ridden along at the back of the field. It's Humanitarian and Sean Levy who take them into the back straight. They've got a mile to go. Humanitarian now by 2 lengths to Pons Alias, who races in second position. Motazen towards the outside is in third. Shadowfax towards the inside rail is racing in fourth. And that's just about all she wrote. They're making the run down the back straight, and we won't see them again until they reappear to the Scout, which is towards the end of the back straights. The next 3.5 furlongs is very much left to your imagination. It was Humanitarian and Sean Levy who had taken the lead as they went down the home straight for the first time, and they had a lead of a couple of lengths to Pons Alias, who was, as is his wont, racing forward as well. And now we're about to see them as they race now on towards the final 4.5 to 5 furlongs and about to lead the back straight behind them. So here they come, and it is still Humanitarian who has got the lead. Ponzelius in second, Shadowfax against the rail is in third, Motazen is racing in fourth. On the inside, Soldier in action, the red colours now racing in fifth position. Arabiscato, the grey around the outside. Between runners is Wilderness with a half mile to go. Then Sashenka, who's held up, so too Duty of Care, and still the back marker, as he's been throughout, is Core Blimey. They've now got just over 3 furlongs to go, and Humanitarian has got the lead by just over a length to Ponzelius, who raced in second. Shadowfax to the inside is in third as they made in. Then Motazen, followed by Arabiscato, who's getting reminders. Down the centre of the course, that is Duty of Care, who's trying to make a move, and he'll be towards the grandstand side as they race on now down towards the final furlong and a half. Pons Elias has now taken the lead once again. Motazen with the white cheek pieces. Here is Duty of Care down the outside. They're now well inside the final furlong. Duty of Care has now swept by them all. Sashenka staying on, but it's Duty of Care, and it's Duty of Care for a gloomy nightcap. In second, Motazen, and in third, Sashenka.
7-1 the winner, Duty of Care, wins nicely. Shane Kelly and Jamie Osborne. Second was Motazen, 20-1, and third was Sashenka, 13-2. A nice performance in the finale here from Duty of Care, stepping up to 2 miles for the first time. That seems to have made every difference to his finishing effort, because he stayed on really stoutly in the closing stages. A horse with plenty of ability, it seems, over this sort of trip. Used to be in the care of Sir Michael Stanton, has now moved to Jamie Osborne, and it hasn't taken him particularly long, has it, to find the key. Winners at Kempton Park on a fine evening of action that was blighted somewhat by fog, but still some lovely performances. Slip of the pen, most notably in the 6:20, 6-5 favourite newcomer for John and Thady Gosden in the colours of His Majesty the King, was a most impressive winner. He's got a Derby entry. How good could he be? We'll probably find out next year. And the feature race on the night, the listed contest at 7:50, went the way of Bellocchio at 9-2 in a really close finish. And times from Kempton this evening. Some pretty quick performances in the main, most notably from Bellocchio in that feature race, 0.67 seconds below standard. That was by quite some way the fastest time on the night.